Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. Here's the last game as part of that delivery that I got in from Noble Knight. This is Western Front Ace from Compass Games. My first World War I game. It's designed by Gregory Smith and Ian Cooper. I've made no bones about the fact that Gregory Smith is one of my favorite wargame designers, mostly because of that narrative focus that he's got. The Great War in the Air, 1916 to 18. As usual in these videos, we'll tear the shrink and take a look at what's in here. Man, it's a heavy box, by far the heaviest of the three. When one is shot down one's first, second, or third opponent, then one begins to find out how the trick is done. Manfred von Richthofen. Western Front Ace, The Great War in the Air, 1916 to 18, is a solitaire tactical level game which places you in command of a scout fighter aircraft during World War I. The player may choose one of 7 different nationalities to fly for, and can be based from one of many bases in along the front trench lines or in Italy. Western Front Ace is based on the popular action-packed Night Fighter Ace series by Gregory M. Smith and is the third game in the series, with a strong narrative around the pilot as you look to increase your prestige, earn skills, and rise in rank through promotion and receive awards. The system is packed with rich technical detail, but without the complexity to capture the key historical facets of the air battles over Europe in the Great War. There are 42 aircraft models to pilot, including SPAD 3, Newport 8, Fokker 4, Sopwith 6, Albatross 4, Fowls 3, SE5, Airco Bristol, various other British 9 aircraft, Halberstadt 1, Henriette Aviatic, others 4 aircraft. For each aircraft, we will be using the date of availability, speed, area of operations based on originating base, individual weapon systems, damage, and crew status. Players improve via numerous pilot skills, wingman skills, observer, rear gunner skills, and prestige level. The emphasis on various skills and benefits to gaining experience creates many decisions for the player, which helps weave a tense and dramatic narrative during play. We've got all the components in there. Complexity medium. Time scale, 1 game is 1 sortie. Map scale is abstract. Unit scale, individual aircraft. Number of players, 1. Suitability for solitaire, high, which I would hope is the case in a 1-player game. Average time to play, 15 minutes per sortie. Recommended age, 14 plus. As usual, let's tear the shrink off and see what we've got in here. Shrink is not wanting to tear as cleanly in this one. But we will get the shrink off here. And now let's crack it open and see what we've got in here. We've got our various cards. Looks like we've got our combat cards, along with some ace cards. These are all poker-sized cards. We've got our dice. Looks like we've got 2d6s, different colored, so I'm presuming we're going to need a d66 roll at some point, a d10, a d20. Our baggies. A ridiculously thick rule book in comparison. We'll probably give that a thumb through. A whole mess of a rot of clarifications from the looks of it. Okay. And a pilot log. Okay, this is one thing I'm not a big fan of, is they put it on this. There's a lot of sortie logs, which is nice, but it's on this very glossy paper, which is not nice. And in fact, I want to see here. I'm going to do a quick little writing test. Just see how well it writes. It seems like it's fine. I just tried to smudge it off a little bit. So that is a concern with this glossy paper. It is going to smudge very easily. I'll probably have to see if I can find the sortie log that I can get in normal paper and then try my hand at making notepads. There are a few other things I wouldn't mind making notepads on. Namely a lot of sports stuff, especially like my play logs from my football games, some of my stat sheets, other stuff like that. But I do not like this glossy paper at all on the sortie logs. I'm trying to get it back in the plastic, well, I was going to say plastic bag, but that's not completely right. Looks more like a plastic sleeve. But we can get the cards out of the way. And we have got a lot of planes. Actually have a lot of these sheets in here. So it does say a lot of planes in here. See if we can lift the band. Or we'll just tear it off. That works too. We've got our pilot status for Britain. Looks like we've got 2 pilot status sheets for the we've got one for the Royal Naval Air Service, one for the British pilot. And we've got our 2-seater planes. It looks like damage mats. Then miscellaneous dice rolls, kind of a reference on some of the other ones that we won't find in the charts. Our encounter chart, of course, based on where we are, then the different nationalities and the date ranges. Another different encounter chart. Wonder why they, looks like there's a few different places that you might have to reference. Then we've got a Newport 27, which looks like a French plane? Seems like it. Newport 24 BIS. Halberstadt D2, that's a German plane, presumably. And a Fokker D3, also available at the start. The SPAD S13. Albatross D2. Albatross D1. Both of those are available at the start. SPAD S7. Newport 17. SPAD S13. Newport 27. Newport 23. Newport 21. BE12. There are a lot of planes in here. Airco DH5. Okay, looks like what I was going to say. Maybe it's sorted by the nationality, but that doesn't seem to be the case. That icon actually seems like it's Austria-Hungary. And we've got German pilots as well, so probably the Central Powers. And Italian pilots. And American pilots. Okay. SPAD S13, which looks to be an Italy plane. SPAD S7. Maybe that, I was going to say, maybe that's based on the base, but I don't think it is. Newport 11. Henriette HD1. Fokker D8. Fokker D7. Albatross DVA. Albatross D3. Falls D12. Fokker DR1. Falls D3A. Falls D3. Bristol Fighter F2B. And F2A. FE8. DH2. SPAD 13. That's probably Spain based on the colors. SPAD S7. SE5A. SE5. German airfield locator, and then one for based on the Western Front, and also for Austria-Hungary. We've got our medals. Allied airfield location for Western Front and the Italian Front. Victory location for the Western Front and the Italian, along with distance and direction. And pilot names. Starting orientations. Mission assignments. Squadron assignment for the Central Powers and the Allies. Newport 28, that looks like a new nationality. Newport 24 BIS. Sopwith Camel. Newport 17. That's probably not Phoenix, but that's what I'm going to go with. D1. Henriette HD1. SPAD S13. SPAD S7. Newport 23. Newport 11. Sopwith Camel. And a Sopwith 1.5 Strutter. Albatross D3. Albatross D2. Hansa Brandenburg D1. And Aviatic D1. Newport 23. Newport 17. Sopwith Snipe. Sopwith Dolphin. Sopwith Triplane. Sopwith 1.5 Strutter. Sopwith Pup. And Sopwith Camel. French pilot status. Belgium. Okay, I thought that was Spain based on the flag. Then we've got Allied pilot names for Belgian, Italian, British, American, and French. Random events. Flight school. And skill effect listings along with landing charts, parachute, all that fun stuff. And damage listings. If you've ever played a Gregory Smith game before, you'll probably pick things up here pretty quickly. I expect I won't have too many problems picking this one up, just because I've played quite a few Gregory Smith games in my very brief wargaming career. Then we've got a space on the Italian front for combat draw deck and discard pile. Also along the Western front. Looks like we have 2 sheets of punch board as usual. It's going to stay in plastic until I'm ready to deal with it. And the other side of that. Just checking the bottom of the lid, or the bottom of the box. We'll bring everything back in. Well, most everything back in. Because I do want to give the rule book a cursory thumb through. It's a fairly long rule book, though. And Compass rulebooks, from my brief experience, tend to be a little bit hit or miss. But let's see what this one looks like. 30-some-odd, looks like 35 pages. Their usual introduction. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of planes. Combat cards, if you're familiar with Night Fighter Ace or either of the Interceptor Ace games, you'll recognize how those work. Right, base assignment table. Okay. Basing, how you win the game, and the general sequence of play. I'll probably have to go see if Stuka Joe's made any kind of combat card, any of the procedure cards for this game. Oh, actually, there's a sequence of play cards probably in here somewhere. I'll have to go digging. I'll have to go digging through the cards. So it looks like they did include some sequence of play cards. Okay. Seems like it's pretty straightforward for a Compass game. Again, I've played a lot of Gregory Smith games, so I don't expect to have too many problems picking this one up. Or various maneuvers. Okay. Crew skills, awards, and promotions. Looks like that's explaining it for each of the nationalities. Okay. Random events, and thankfully there's an example of play here. How the prestige level works. Reassignment to a new aircraft and multiple rules. Okay. All right, then we've got our credits, designer notes, bibliography, and historical notes, explaining our aces, and then probably our planes, and a rules index, which is always helpful. Okay. So that was the longest of the unboxings, and for now, I am all caught up, as that is everything in the box. Holy cow, still pretty heavy. For Western Front Ace by Compass Games. Still quite busy coming up on the channel. Tomorrow night we'll be at Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California for Game 6 of the American League Championship Series between the Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. The Tigers lead that series 3-2. We will have Walt Terrell going for the Tigers and Don Sutton going for the Angels, as California tries to extend that to a Game 7 on Thursday night. This week, we will also finally find out what these are for, as we will be having the Summer 2025 Project Selection Show immediately after the League Championship Series round is over in 1985. Before that, though, Wednesday we will be playing Star Wars Force and Destiny by Edge Studio and Fantasy Flight. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the Dungeons and Dragons Flavors of the Multiverse cookbook as we make the drink Erlenmeyer's Dragonfire Punch. Next week, we're going to be playing game number 6 on my 10-game challenge list as we play Twilight 2000 by Free League Publishing. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.